What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here doing some binomial expansion in this video, and I've got 3 different examples in this one. They really cover all the different scenarios that you might encounter when expanding binomials. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jot down Pascal's triangle because I don't know about you, but I don't want to multiply a binomial 6 times over, multiply 2 of them together, combine like terms, distribute another one. It's fool's game, man, all right? Pascal's got your back. Now, you do have to know how to set this up, but you don't have to memorize all the numbers. You just have to know how to get them. All right, it starts with a 1, and then we got another 1 and another 1, okay? That's all you have to memorize. Can you memorize 1, 1, 1? Then you're good, man, right? 1's going the outside, and then we add the 2 numbers above it to get the next row, all right? So I got 1 on the outside. What are my 2 numbers above? 1 plus 1 is 2. Very good, guys. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I got a 1 on the outside, all right? Now, the next row, again, it's going to start with 1, but 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 1, 3, and then a 1 goes on the outside. And I'm going to continue that here, I guess, up through the 6th power, because what's nice about this is this would be to the 2nd power, to the 3rd power. Then we have to the 4th power. This is going to be 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, 4, and then 1. And then I got to go to the 5th power, so 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. And then we got the 6th power. So I got to do one more row. All right. 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, and 1. All right. So there's our Pascal's triangle. I wanted to keep it off over here while we use it for these because these are going to take up a bit of room here. All right. Now I'm going to use a few different colors. So I'm going to use this guy here, the neon yellow, for these numbers. And then I'm going to use, let's go with, how about blue for this guy? And then we'll do, how about orange for this one? Because the Bears just beat the Packers. Okay, that's what I'm making this video here. It's the last game of the season. We are 5-12. Absolutely terrible, but basically won the Super Bowl because we beat Green Bay in Green Bay. That was awesome. Anyways, back to the math. So what I do first is if I'm raising this to the 6th power, right? This binomial to the 6th. I could do a plus b times a plus b times a, all those things. Or use this row of Pascal's triangle. I hope it will fit, and I planned accordingly. So I'm going to do this. Whoops, we don't lose, get in there. I got 1. Then I have 6. I'm going to leave a little space because I got to deal with A's and B's there. 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, and 1. Okay. Cool. Next up, I'm going to deal with the A's. Okay. Now, the way you do this is I start with the highest degree, which is 6 in this case, and I'm going to have a to the 6th power. So a to the 6th. Then I'll have a to the 5th, to the 4th, to the 3rd, to the 2nd, to the 1st, and you don't have to write this, but I like to do it when I'm first starting out, a to the 0 power. Now I'm getting real close over there. Hopefully it's not cut off. It just fit. Okay. Next, I've got my 2nd term there, the b. Now the b is going to start to the 0 power. So b to the 0, then it'll be b to the 1st, b to the 2nd, then b to the 3rd, to the 4th, to the 5th, and to the 6th. All right. Now I'm just going to clean it up. Okay, that's all we got to do from here. So I will do that in a final type of color here. We'll go with green. Okay. So I'm going to have a to the 6th times 1 times, what's b to the 0? It's just 1, okay? So we have a to the 6th. That is different than the neon yellow. These are 2 different colors. Just saying. Doesn't really look that different. Then I have 6, a to the 5th, b to the 1st. So plus 6, a to the 5th, b. And yes, these are all plus signs here because everything is positive. Forgot to add that in. No pun intended. Get it? Add that in. That was hilarious. All right, it's been a long day. Long day making math videos now. We got 15, a to the 4th, b to the 2nd. Then I have 20, a to the 3rd, b cubed. Then we have 15, a squared, b to the 4th, 6ab to the 5th, and then we just have b to the 0. Or sorry, b to the 6th. There we go. Boom. Final answer. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. There we go, you guys. 1 done. 1 out of 3 of them done. These are lower power, so a little bit less, but still quite a bit. But that's a lot easier. I know it's kind of cumbersome, but it's very systematic. and less likely for, random computational errors or algebraic errors if you were multiplying all these binomials together, combining your like terms, blah, 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 blah. That would be a lot, okay? Pascal's got your back. All righty. He's a pretty dope dude, okay? He's a pretty dope dude. He's best buds. He was best buds with Pythag as well. They were tight. I actually don't know that. Anyways, next one here. To the 5th power. So I will be using this line here of Pascal's triangle where we have the 1, 5, 10, 5, 1. So let's write that out. I'll do that in the neon yellow here. We got 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. And you might start to memorize some of these early rows, but I just always like to write it out. Okay, I write it out. It takes me, 20, 30 seconds to do that, and then we can get to work, okay? Now, I do know that this one's going to be all positive here, so I can go ahead and just put my plus signs in right now. This guy's going to be a little bit different, right? So if you're like, hey, how's it going to work with that negative there? Stay tuned, dogs. Stay tuned. All right, next up, I'm going to go with the same color scheme here. We'll do the first term in blue. So I got 2x, and I'm raising that to the 6th power, okay? So the whole thing, the whole 2x gets raised to the 6th power. So the 2 also gets raised to the 5th power. I misspoke. I was looking at the top guy. To the 5th power. Boom. The next one, I have 2x to the 4th. Then we have 2x to the 3rd. Then to the 2nd. Then to the 1st. And then to the 0. Tiny. Okay. Boom. And that'll do the same thing with the 3y. And that one will be an orange. So this one will start with raising it to the 0. And if you don't want to write this, that's fine. I just find it helpful to count up. I always start highest degree down, start at 0, up to the degree that we have there. So that's just my approach. That's how I teach my kids to do it. Not my actual children. I don't have children, but my students, okay? There we go. Then we have to the 3rd. Whoa, run out of room. Then we have to the 4th. And then to the 5th. Okay. I'm really close to the edge of my board. I hope I got it all. I think I do. It's hard to tell. It's just on my watch. So that's 3y to the 5th, if you don't know. Okay. On to the next one. I'll just use the neon yellow at this point. It's a little more fine-tipped. I can write a little better. So I've got 1 times 2x to the 5th. Well, what's 2 to the 5th power? That's 32. And if you didn't know, that's okay. Pop it in the calculator. Some of these numbers are going to get kind of big. I'm going to bust it out anyways. So 2 to the 5th is 32. So I have 32x to the 5th. That's it for that term. Because the 3y to the 0, poof, it's gone. Now, the next one, I like to do these numbers all together. All right, and I'm going to actually type this one in the calculator so I don't screw anything up. So I'm going to have 2 to the 4th. So 5 times 2 to the 4th times 3 to the 1st, or just times 3. So I'm just typing them all into my calculator once. 5 times 2 to the 4th times 3. Hit enter. I get 240. So 240. And then I'll deal with the variables. X to the 4th, y. Cool. Same thing for the next one. I'll type in 10 times 2 to the 3rd, which is 8. If you didn't know that, it's okay. Times 3 squared, which is 9. Type it all in. We get 720. And that one you might have been able to do. We got 8 times 9 is 72, times 10, 720. So some of them you can knock out mentally, but I feel like if you're on a test, man, you're like, I'm typing that in, right? I'm not going to chance anything on a test. Then we got 10 times 2 squared, that's 4, that's 40, times 27. No, I'm just going to type it in. 10 times 4 times 27, 3 cubed, right? Yes. 1,080. X squared, y cubed. And then we have 5 times 2 times 3 to the 4th. Okay, 5 times 2 is 10. 3 to the 4th is 81. 810. We got that one. We got that one mentally. And then the last one, we have 1 times 2x to the 0. It's just 1. 3 to the 5th. What is 3 to the 5th? 81 times 3. 243? 3 to the 5th. Hey! All right. 243 y to the 5th. Boom. Voila. That's just a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff. But there we go. Expanded. Okay. If you're still hanging with me, I appreciate it. Or maybe you just jump to the negative where you're like, I want to know what to do with that negative, and there's no variable there, bro. What is going on with that? Well, the moment has come to the math board. Anyways, let's do it. So first off, 4. So I'm going to be dealing with this line right here. I've got 1, 4, 6, 4, and 1. Next up, I feel like I always give myself too much space here, and then I run out of room over here. Whatever. Blue first. 4x. So it'll be 4x to the 4th. I didn't mess that one up this time. Then I have 4x cubed. Then I have 4x squared. Then to the 1st. And then to the 0. Then we got our orange. So I have negative 2 to the 0 and negative 2 to the 1st, to the 2nd, to the 3rd, and to the 4th. Okay. So you can kind of memorize how the negative is going to work, or you can just let it play out in the numbers, okay? And you can type them into your calculator like we were doing. If you got to do 4 to the 4th, that's fine. What is that, 256? Yes, 256. And this is x to the 4th. That guy goes away. So this is 256 x to the 4th. And then over here, it's going to be 4 times 4 cubes, 4 times 4 to the 3rd. Now that negative 2 to the 1st is negative 2, right? So times negative 2. Anytime you're doing these, if you're typing this in your calculator, make sure that negative 2 squared is in the parentheses as I have it written right here. And same with this guy right here, and then with this one as well, because if you don't have those parentheses, your calculator is going to compute it incorrectly from what you want, okay? It's going to do it right. You just not what you want. All right, so this is negative 512 right here. So negative 512 x to the 3rd. There's no other variable there. It's just x to the 3rd at this point, right? There's no y or anything like that. The 2 just kind of, that guy went over there, right? 4 times 4 to the 3rd is 256 times negative 2 is negative 512. That's how we got all that, all right? Next one here, I have 6 times 4 squared times, and now parentheses, negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. But if you're typing it all in and being systematic about it in your calculator, I'm totally okay with that. No judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? I don't care if you got to plug those numbers in the calculator. Be sure. I did on the ACT. I was like, 5 plus 2 is still 7, right? Yes. Anywho, plus, this is positive this time, 384 x squared. 2 more. We got 4 times 4, that's 16, times, what is that? Negative 8. I'm going to double check it. Well, I know that's negative 8, but 4 times negative 8 is negative 128. Okay, cool. 16 times negative 8, I wasn't totally positive. Negative 128. X, and then the last one here, 1 times 4 to the 0 is 1 times x to the 0 is, that's also just 1, right? And then I have negative 2 to the 4th. Negative 2 to the 4th is the same as positive 2 to the 4th. It's an even degree. It's going to be positive. It is 16. Boom. Final answer. Whew. That's quite the lengthy video there, guys. But it all plays off of the same thing, Pascal's triangle. So hopefully you either jumped to the one that you wanted to watch or watched all 3. I appreciate it if you watched all 3 because that was some fun little math right there. And it takes a little bit of practice. Just be careful. I like to use the colors, okay? So if your teacher lets you use colors on your quiz or your test, I let them do that because I think it's a nice little visual that can help you stay organized. I forgot to underline my negative 2 right here. Whoop. There we go. Now we're beautiful. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. And if you got any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm happy to make some videos. Even if it's not on this, you're like, hey, man, I want something for rationals. You know, I'll make a rational video next. Post it. Have a great day.